Hello everyone, CS Word here, and thanks to absolutely no one for commenting on the last video to just use cauldrons or composters instead of honey blocks, because that has simplified this belt feed so much that I can actually have a return system without the need of some double or triple piston extender or like filtering in a glazed terracotta nonsense. Yeah, the cauldron can just be sent up to the end and pushed all the way back to the start. That's what I got right here, so once one cauldron makes it all the way to the top, this piston will push it over, and because it's being zero ticked by the observer, if a player is sitting here, as I shown earlier, they will not be pushed off to the side, but will actually sit there in the new cauldron instead. Now this piston, once one gets pushed over, pushes it down. I just have it going in sync with the horizontal pistons, so that pushes it down as far as it can go. Stuck mark piston here to push it to the side. And I could have extended this as far over as it could go, but I chose to stop right there so it would be less visible while riding the escalator. Now, smart piston to push it down, one to push it over, and then one final one to push it back to the start. Now, this trap door on this cauldron is the one that the player would enter, as I showed earlier, and that's because a trap door makes it much easier to align into the cauldron. You might not get a weird dippy bobby motion where you start going in and then hop right back out. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, for only adding 2 extra blocks to the system, it makes a ton of difference to not have to place and destroy blocks. But you can have multiple cauldrons along the path. I just chose to go with one, so it'd be very awkward and inconvenient for anyone wanting to ride it. Now, let's see how this works on the Bedrock version. Alright, so it looks like the same design is going to work. I'll show you that when one gets up to the top, it will indeed cycle one back to the start. Now the only problem with this is if the player tries to ride in the composter or cauldron, just like with the honey block, rather than moving with the block, the player will just glitch through, which is not helpful at all. Now, there is a solution to this. You can use a minecart to perfectly align yourself, and then if the player is riding it, and you have some system to automatically place and destroy the minecart, then it will actually work. So that's a very terrible setup in my opinion, and there could be a solution, but even if you have a second minecart, you're going to run into issues immediately. I'll show you right now. Obviously, it just kind of sits right there. And the more and more you stack on, the more problems you're going to run into. But if you want to do this yourself, then this piston needs a block between it and the observer, and this piston does not need dust on top. It can just be directly fed, again, with the horizontal pistons. And because I didn't make this one as big, it only needed one smart piston, and obviously the one at the end here. So yeah, that's all I have for today, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.